So I'm just in Meltham now. That's some really nice houses in this little corner of Meltham here. I've never been to it before. I used to have a friend who used to live on one of the newer housing estates up there. Well, not new anymore, but back then they were kind of new. So this is actually when you go out, there's a road that actually goes straight up to Edgwick Moors out of Meltham, but I'm a bit further this way than that road. There's a field there with some lines and there's some nice trees going up there, but this is where you can see this sort of ridge. So we're right literally on the verge of Edgwick Pennines. There is some rock formations up there. I really think there was some dolmens up there, like in Ireland, like in Wicklow Hills. Because if you look at the area, the Wicklow Hills, south of Dublin, and it just, with Castle Hill being there, and the other hill fort as well, and then you've got that Dunelm, and then you've got the river that goes to the sea. It's not unlike where they've got Drogheda and Newgrange, and then they've got the river that goes to the sea, Bruna Boyne. It just, to me, right, that the feel of the area, the whole feel of the area, and you know, we've got the river, and then you know, you've got the hill forts, and then we've got the actual Pennines here on the edge, and the position of them all, and the feel of this ridge here. To me, I just think it feels right that if the ones all around I know that the ones in Wales are mainly around the coast, and I know the ones that the Wicklow Hills at Dublin are inland a little bit, but I just kind of think that it just, to me, feels that if all the other ones are legitimate, then I think most definitely that there was some up there, and I think they've been pulled to bits. Because it just makes sense, and it just feels right. If it didn't feel right, then I wouldn't suggest it, but knowing Meltham, and I actually think, I don't know exactly where they were, but I just got a gut feeling that there were some dolmens up there, and they got pulled to bits at some point. Don't know whether was it to do with Roman invasion or after, at some point after, I'm not sure. I want someone in the Irish Megalithic Research Group to go to, you know, like the equivalent of, you know, where those dolmens are in the Wicklow Hills. Like, can someone go to one of the towns that are just at the base of those hills, just a bit further away, and do a little video like this, so we can just get a kind of feel of what it looks like looking up at the ridges where those dolmens are, just from kind of the base of where those hills start, within this sort of distance, and the little surrounding towns and areas. I won't mind having a look to see what it looks like. Cheers for that. So I'm just looking now. So it doesn't actually look like there are many at all right in the middle of Wales, which that's what I was more interested in. But it's got some, not Anglesey, but out on the peninsula a bit further down, which, funnily enough, I actually, at one point, I was going out there every week, actually, out onto this peninsula, because I went to delivering stuff, and I went to a place, oh, what's it called now? You go through a place called Pistol, actually. I forgot what the other place is called. If I zoom out, I could probably tell you. It's where they go. It's near where they all go surfing. Anyway, so we've got a couple here. So we've got this Differing burial chamber. So I'll Google that in a bit, see what that's about. Differing burial chamber. That's an actual burial chamber. Then we've got this Course A Gedol burial chamber. I wish I'd have known these were there when I used to go out there. You see, when I used to go to Anglesey every single week, and I used to go over that Menai Bridge, and I used to go literally that Bryn Du Celly. I used to go right past it, but I didn't know it were there. And I'd heard that there was one on Anglesey, a burial chamber, I knew about one of them, and I could never find out what it were called, but I'd seen it on a programme, but I thought that is the one that was on someone's private land, and you have to kind of ask them to go on it, and I didn't know about the other one, and the other one is so near the bridge that I could have probably gone there, like, 5 or 6 times, or probably even 20 times, and I just, back then, all these groups really weren't going as strong as they are now, and the megalithic portal was only just starting to build up its archives, and it didn't have as many pictures on, and when you were typing stuff in Google, like burial chambers, the ones that you wanted to find, or the ones that you could have found, weren't showing up. You had to have certain books and certain things and knew exactly what to put in. So I was just a little bit, I don't think that Google and everywhere had just quite got to that point, unless you had a little bit more, if you had a few more books with a little bit more specific information, or if you were studying it at university, and but I didn't have the books. I knew about them sort of, but not name by name. So it just wasn't pulling it up in the search at the time. So when I was travelling around a lot, I did get to go to some sites, obviously, like mainly the ones in Wiltshire and Cotswold 7, but I kind of like missed out on Anglesey ones, and that's, I was going there a lot more than down Wiltshire and that, so it was just unlucky that I couldn't get the names. I didn't get the names of them, so I couldn't get there, even though I'd gone past. Wow, Sefin Isaf Burial Chamber. I think that one up there will be, if these ones are legitimate, I reckon that one that's near Llandudno will be legitimate if there's all these. So check that one as well. Sefin Isaf, I'll have a look at that. What's that? Cromley Farm Burial Chamber. $100. You see, this is getting out. I think this is wow. Sefin. So to start with, right? So with that, so in West Island, right, which is, funnily enough, that's in the area that Rathra is, because I've got the book on it. It's on here. It says Cruchain, right? I don't know how you pronounce it, but it says Cruchain, right? So to me, immediately, I'm thinking like crew. That word's been out of crew and chain. So crew is, the people, or the clan, and then chain. So like you've got the chains, which is basically like saying all the people are kind of like tight together, whether it's through family or clans or whatever, in some sort of way. But immediately to that, I'm thinking of on the Kelly coat of arms, it has actually got the chains from rooted in the ground, in the earth, up to the top of the tower. So there is something in that straight away. If you want to elaborate on it, then that's up to you, but like that's just like from the first sort of look at it. It's not got that many other places in Ireland, and I don't really know what any of the other ones even remotely mean, even in the slightest. Now what I want to know is this, right? Why have we got at the very, 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 very top of Scotland the Cornovi, right, when Cornwall is meant to be right down the bottom in the south? and the fact of a Cornwall, what happened there with that? And then Caledonia is pretty obvious. I mean, the calendar is to do with the measurement of months and time and seasons, and we've got all the like recumbent stone circles and all the other circles. Well, we've got the circles all over the whole of Britain, but there are a lot in Scotland. But we can, the words what we've ended up with calendar, is sort of related to that. The Picti, I mean, not only to pick things up, or to pick plants or berries, but also pictures and images, Like, so I've got at least like a little bit of an idea, you know, about that. Demone. Well, dams are building things in water, right? Like beavers build dams across water. Funnily enough, the recumbent stone sort of like is almost like a dam across between the stones, isn't it, in a way? And Drogheda is meant to be the bridge over the ford. Like, I mean, a bridge is to carry people across and over the water, but in the similar, you know, if you want it to, you know, if you're going to bridge the ford, you could either bridge the ford just to cross it, or you could put something across the ford to completely block it, which would be a dam. Then you've got the word, like, you know, dammed. So, you know, there's something that I sort of kind of generally, loosely sort of get it. Not the Votadini. Is it possible that, you know, the word voting, you know, to elect people or different people to have a say in things or something, has that got anything to do with it? Then we've got the Selgave, I'm not sure about that. Novante. Now the Brigantes, that is our area, but I don't really. I mean, we've got a place called Brighouse, and then we've got you know, we've got hill forts, things like that. But I'm not too sure if it means anything in either Scottish or Irish Gaelic or not. I would like to know if it does sort of refer to anything specific. Parisi. Why do we end up, you know, why have we got, like, the capital of France is Paris, then we've got these Parisis that are in, you know, East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. Actually, I think I read a piece saying that some of these tribe names, you could find them in different places. Like, you could find Parisi in, you know, France, and you could find Parisi tribe in England, which is quite unusual. Coritani, Iceni, Gigani. Now what I think's unusual. What's this Belgae? Why? You see, that's the area that's around Wiltshire Plains, isn't it? With Stonehenge and all that, but it says Belgae. But you think Belgium, you know. Now they're saying, in some of those recent programmes that are on there now with Mike Pack Pearson, we're saying that the people came from Europe to the Stonehenge area. So when you look at it and it says Belgium, and you look at the map on Belgium, it's like, oh, what? Do you know what I mean? But then also you've got, like, the Bell part of it, like Belfast as well. So, you know, so, you know, I'm not saying I'm right about any of these. I'm just speculating, but, you know, this is like just the average sort of person looking at the names and thinking of modern language now and saying, you know, like Caledoni is pretty, you know, I can sort of gather something from it, but I kind of won't mind, you know, obviously if you are actually Irish and actually Gaelic, then you obviously can probably see a bit more into it than what I can, because I can only gather minimal sort of readings from it. So I would kind of like to know if there might be something, you know. What are these? Are these? Did the Romans just say, "Oh, we'll call them this, we'll call them that, and we'll call them this," or are these words what the Celtic peoples called themselves? How they said it, like when they said it, oh, you know, we are Brigantes or whatever. And did they write, you know, however, you know, you had to write that down in letters to make it sound like that. Is that what the Romans wrote down? Do you know what I mean? That's what I want to know, I guess. That's what I'm asking.